Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Bob, because we've had that very discussion here in the house. I hope that's the discussion I think I'm seeing. Anyway, yeah, that intro is. Hello, everyone. By the way, sorry. That intro is going to have to be changed. Um, when Odyssey drops, it won't be right away. We'll have to spend a bit of time on it and and understand where we are with Odyssey and what sort of Odyssey does well and what Odyssey perhaps doesn't do well, and make sure that we cover all our bases. But the video will never go away. It'll always be on the interwebs, so you can always see it if you want to. But it will go away at some point. Sorry, and the music will change as well. I'm really sorry, but we're sorry, mate. I know that's ruined your afternoon, isn't it? Really, but it will change at some point. Hello, Phil Barnes. How are you? Slam Dunk. Hello, mate. 57 Thorns. Quiz Engine. Game Warrior, who's been here for like an hour. Bob. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Bagfather. Bowl of Petunias. I love that. That's a Hitchhiker's Guide reference. Yagashura is here. Hello, mate. Hello, hello, hello. You wonderful people. Crazy Golm. Hello. Wintermute. All right. Moist Sock, which is my new favourite name of the week. I love that. Mark Shaw, hello mate. How are you? How are you? Keep the music, update the visuals, says Slam Dunk. Oh yeah, but La Barnden, hello mate. We like a change though. We want to, we fancy a change. Hello Soundo, you alright buddy? Kevin Turner's here. Hello. I think I've covered everyone. I'm really sorry if I haven't. I do try. How are you people? Una Carlsen. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Spookster, hello mate. We do, yeah, we do. We want to. It's not that we're bored with it. We love that music. We absolutely love that music. But we've got since we made that video, we've got such a massive library available to us of just gorgeous, gorgeous music. It's a shame not to get it out there. And we've learnt a lot since we made that video as well. So it's a good sort of possibly year or two old or something like that now. So we kind of want to change things up a bit, particularly with Odyssey. We'll have to change it up with Odyssey because the whole game is changing at that point. So, Crazy Gom, you've had a wild week, had a COVID scare. I hope you're okay, mate. I hope you're safe. It's got a bit exciting around here recently. I live in Cornwall, which is one of the less COVID intense areas of the country for sure. We've got sort of the lowest, possibly one of the lowest rates in the country, but we've had hello, Fatherhood News. How are you? We've had a couple of outbreaks really locally. So, like there's a primary school down the road that's had an outbreak. There's a factory down the road that's had an outbreak. There's a naval base down the road that's had an outbreak, and somewhere else up country as well that was reasonably close that's had an outbreak as well. And it's all kind of COVID doesn't seem to be amongst the general populace as much, but they've had some focused outbreaks in concentrated areas, if you see what I mean, which kind of gives you a bit of a false positive, if you know what I mean. But yeah, not great. So I hope everyone's safe. I hope you're all well, people. Hello, Kane Kennedy. How are you? Abriel Keane is here, and that English gent. Hello, mate. Have I read the latest Galnet? Core Dynamics is trying to buy Lakon. I have. What's going on there? What is going on there? Right, so Frontier have said, this is important, okay, people? I need you to cling to this. Listen to the sound of my voice. Frontier have said time and time again, and I'm going to be talking to Frontier really soon, and I am going to talk to them about this specific thing, all right? Frontier have said, Arthur in particular has said, everything that is happening is for a reason. One of the complaints that people had about the old version of Galnet, which some of you probably won't even know. Hello, Orange Phoenix. How are you, mate? The old version of Galnet used to do an awful lot of. I promise you, we'll play some game in a minute. Used to do an awful lot of fluff stuff, where it was kind of colour to the galaxy. So lots and lots of spurious news stories about all sorts of different things. 99% of it, if I'm being brutally honest, wasn't in the game and had no bearing on the game whatsoever. I know a lot of people like that, and that's great. I personally found it a bit annoying because I used to go chasing off. Me and Ree used to go chasing off all around the galaxy, going, "Oh, we can go and film that, or we'll go and have a look at that and see what difference it's made." And a lot of it wasn't there. When Frontier rebooted Galnet, for want of a better expression. They took it offline for a few months, and it's come back, and everything, we are being told, everything that is happening in Galnet, whether you see it in-game or not, is for a reason, right? So everything that's happening in Galnet is having an effect on the galaxy, or is I'll try and get some specifics on this when I talk to them. So we'll try and get to the bottom of exactly, as much as we can with Frontier, we'll try and get to the bottom of exactly what they mean. But everything is apparently happening for a reason, right? So the long strangled route I'm trying to get to is, if core dynamics, I've got an aching shoulder at the moment. It's really painful. I don't really know what's causing. Well, I know what's causing it. Old age is what's causing it. It's the other side is a heart attack, isn't it? So I don't think it's that one. But it's been like it for a couple of weeks. It's annoying. What was I saying? Right. So core dynamics is trying to buy Lakon, right? Why is that? Why are Frontier doing that? There must be a reason for that. The most obvious reason I can think of is that it's to introduce a new ship or new ships to the game. Now, I know the answer you're about to give me in chat, okay? But the most obvious, hello, whoever that is sitting on me, the most obvious thing that I can think of there is a particular ship. Why that would require one company to buy another, I don't know, but discuss. And I think I know what's about to appear in chat. While you're doing that, I will try and work out what on earth we're doing today. I'm going to go and do the CG. There's a couple of CGs that have just kicked off today. And because I've got an appalling federal bias, and I can't explain that because I do desperately want to be independent, but I just can't bring myself to help the Empire. I'm really sorry. So I'm going to go to Perutis. But don't get me wrong. I don't think like the Feds are some kind of great great good in the galaxy. Quite the opposite. When I watch Star Wars, I am rooting for the Empire. I know that's never going to happen, but the rebels get on my nerves. So not in real life. In real life, I'm always rooting for, you know, the good guy, and let's all help each other out and stuff like that. And that's very much who I am. But when I'm watching a film and there's a big baddie, I want the baddie to win. I know I'm a bad person, whatever. So yes, I'm gonna go and shift some stuff. Yeah, there's 4 CGs at the moment, no less. 4 community goals running extraordinarily. Hello, Matt's Mechanical. How are you? Panther Clipper shouts that English gent. Surely this has got. I mean, surely, come on, this has got something to do with the Panther Clipper. Now, here's an interesting question, because I know a lot of you will have. Is there anybody in chat now who is desperately wants the Panther Clipper to go in the game, who has never used a Panther Clipper in the past, who has no personal experience with the Panther Clipper, but you know you want it in the game? And if that's the case, can you please explain to me why it is you want the Panther Clipper in the game? And I'm not saying you're wrong by any stretch of the imagination, because you are not. You are not wrong. I want a Panther Clipper in the game. I want my particular flavour of Panther Clipper, but I want the Panther Clipper in the game. But if you've never used a Panther Clipper and you want the Panther Clipper in the game, can you make yourself known to me, please? And give me a little bit of as to why it is you think you might want a Panther Clipper. And if you have used a Panther Clipper in the game, can you please explain to me why you would also like the Panther Clipper to be in the game? I'm quite curious about that one. I thought about that last night. I thought there must be a ton of people who are like itching to get their hands on the Panther Clipper, but have never actually experienced a Panther Clipper in the past. Yager's saying he wants it more choices better. Have you ever used a Panther Clipper before, Yager? Let me just skillfully avoid a star. I hope most of you saw that video that we put out yesterday. Kevin L, what about a battle cruiser, a chop down carrier with a lot of guns? It gets my vote, mate. I'll tell you what, I would be absolutely fine with that. I'd like a cut down cruiser covered in guns. I'd be absolutely fine with that. That English gent, yes, my girlfriend SLBA told me about it because I play the older. Oh, your friend, I'm sorry, mate. I read that as girlfriend for some bizarre reason. Played the older games where as Edie is your only elite. Oh, that's really interesting. And you want to experience it. Okay, that's really awesome. That's really good to know. Wintermute, I want a Panther Clipper because, well, it's overdue. We've seen the artwork already. We've seen kind of concepts, haven't we? There was a concept floating around, wasn't it? Was that a genuine? That was a genuine concept, was it? I know the one I think you're thinking of. Orange because it's a unique ship. Nanofuser. I've never used the Panther Clipper before, but I'd love the extra cargo space. Yes, please, my friend. Right there with you. Jaeger, probably not going to like it either. I prefer ships that can, well, you know, maneuver. Yep. Kevin's had one in the past. Excellent. Hello, Branded One. You all right, mate? Crazy Golem. I tell you what, yes, if they make the Clipper as big as it should be, it would be hilarious to race. Yeah. Okay, Soundo's never used a Panther Clipper.
4, 3, 2.
Kevin L just googled a Panther Clipper. Bring it on. Take my credits. Orange Phoenix. It's so big you can't dock at stations. Well, you could. In the original game, this is Frontier Elite 2 we're talking about. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you could actually dock at stations. But I would love it if you couldn't dock at a station and you had to use a smaller ship to do it. That would make me extremely happy. Now I know I've kind of got a carrier that can sort of do that now, but don't want that. I want a Panther anyway. So yeah, okay. So the reason I like the Panther Clipper is because I've predominantly always been a trading guy. Really, I love hauling goods. I've got into a lot of combat since Elite Dangerous, and because the likes of Yagashura have supported me through it, which is wonderful. Yeah, Soundo, I'd love a ship that you can't dock. Yeah. And in Frontier Elite 2 when I played it, I was always a trader. I played trader and I was absolutely harmless. There was only ever one elite rank in Frontier Elite 2. I was absolutely harmless all the way through the game until I'd accrued, you know, gajillions of credits, and then I finally got myself a Panther Clipper, and over the course of a 24-hour period, I basically covered it in guns, covered it in the best armor that I could get my hands on, and it then became a trading / killing machine, and I got to elite in hilarious time. I used to be able to go into I don't think you'll be able to do this in Elite Dangerous, and quite rightly so, but I basically, in the original, in Frontier Elite 2, I took my Panther Clipper into an anarchy system, which used to be a dangerous thing to do. Did that, and then I would basically sit there and hose anything that came near me and kill it in very short order, very, very quickly, which was brilliant fun. I completely understand that I won't be able to do that in Elite Dangerous, quite right too, if and when it turns up, but that's why I have very fond memories of the Clipper. I suppose, well, how about if it can't dock at a space station, how about it can only land planet side? That would be a hell of a thing. That would be surely a thing to see. A ship that's so big it can only land planet side. That would be, I'd be well up for that. I'd be well up for that. That would be awesome. The nice thing about the Clipper as well, it had 4 engines on the side, and when it was going forward or maneuvering in space, basically when your landing gear was up, they'd point backwards. But as soon as you put your landing gear down, they'd rotate and point downwards, and you'd end up with like these 4 massive jets firing as it came into land. It was gorgeous, and it was like flying a country. It was quite a thing to behold. I'd love that. I really would enjoy that. Yagashura, I have what now? You helped, Yagashura. You've helped. Yeah, sorry about that, Branded. I've made you want a Panther Clipper now. There are dry docks, Bob. You're absolutely right. I'd be well up with that. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd be very, very cool with that, I have to say. Like pulling, it'd be like Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock, like pulling into a dry dock. Really, oh god, I think I'd cry. But yeah, I'd be fine with that. Okay, English gent, that's really interesting. I think only landing planetside would be a likely outcome. Credit sync incentive to get involved with Odyssey. That would be a hell of a thing to see from on foot as well, wouldn't it? To sort of be down on the ground, standing next to a Panther Clipper when it lands. My God, that'd be like watching Scotland come in. Christ. America. I don't know if there's anyone, if anyone from America is watching at the moment, but it's Thanksgiving today, isn't it? I have no idea what Thanksgiving means, but I wish you a good one nonetheless. I hope you're having lots of turkey with your family. Branded, you'll be there, won't you, mate? I hope you're having lots of turkey or whatever floats your boat at this particular festive season. Good heavens knows we could all do with a bit of festive season at the moment. So I wish you nothing but good things, people. Be happy and be with your family and have a laugh. I think we've earned it this year, haven't we? I'm hoping against hope itself that I'm actually going to the right place here. I guess we'll know really soon. Spoiled for choice when it comes to CGs at the moment. All over the place. That was quite an epic entry, wasn't it? That was very cool. Okay, let's just do that while excellent, good. Yes, happy Thanksgiving is the appropriate greeting. Good, good. Brandon's saying it means just go gorge on food and pass out in a food coma. Excellent. That's pretty much what Christmas Day is in the UK, so that's good. Eat too much food and try not to talk politics with the family. Good luck with that, MS squared.
Scan detected.
Abriel, that's a really nice idea. I'd really like that. I've always wanted, actually, a ship in Elite that I can fly around and steer and all that kind of good stuff, but that also has another ship underneath, and you know, that sort of docks inside it or on top of it or whatever works. I'd really like that, like a little shuttle kind of thing.
Landing gear deployed.
But I also want a big ship that I can take into a combat zone, and then I want the combat zone beefed up as well, because I don't want to go in there and absolutely dominate the current combat zones. But did I just put my? I've got to move that button. I've got to move that button. Oh. Yeah, I'd love like a. I really wanted to be able to take carriers in combat zones. We're obviously not going to be able to do that, but I'd like a big ship like that that you can take into a combat zone. And you know, if they can make it vulnerable to torpedoes or something like that, I'm sure there's room there for balance. But let's have a look at community goals, which sounds like it should be a song, but it isn't. We get a sticker for this one, by the way, people. There's a decal up for grabs on this one. Frontier haven't said what the decal is, or whether you get a different decal with the other CG or a decal with this, but I suspect there's probably only one decal, but I don't know, so don't take that as read. But there is a decal up for grabs. And it's the top 75 they're going with now as well. Brilliant. Good. Well done, FDev. Excellent. Good. So you haven't got to absolutely ignore your family and cane yourself silly in the hope that you'll be in the top 25%. You've only got to be in the top 75%, and that, I promise you people, is quite easy to do. That's perfectly achievable without giving up things like having a bath and eating food. It's perfectly doable. I was paying almost no attention to what I was doing then, so I've got no idea what it is I'm now looking for, so that's good. So what am I after? What am I after? What am I after? Is the information there? Okay. Building fabricators, microbial furnaces. That's a what's a microbial furnace? Oh yeah, I understand what it is, but energy grid assemblies to Schweikart City in the Brutus system. Okay. As is tradition, I'm now going to completely ignore the in-game tools and go and look at EDDB and find out where I can find this stuff. I know there's at least one person in the chat, by the way, boys and girls, who is extremely new to Elite because of the Epic freebie. So, Can we, as a community, just give a very, very huge elite community welcome to all the wonderful new commanders who have joined this incredible, but let's be honest, quite difficult game as a result of the epic drop. So hello, new people. It's our privilege to have you along. It really is. Hello. I should join up with Commander Plater and hunt some pirates. That's it. Whenever anybody, I love Plater dearly. Okay, I really do. He's if you've not if you're not following Commander Plater and listening to his dreadful voice, I don't mean. See the problem. Me and Plater have this relationship where we basically insult each other in a private message on an almost daily basis. And so whenever anybody mentions, look at that, all the lovely hellos coming up. That's brilliant. Um, if you're not following Plater, you need to be following Plater. He's a lovely, lovely bloke, um, and very funny. But whenever anybody mentions Plater, I feel compelled to insult him, and Ree tells me off for it. And I'm desperately trying to search for commodities, and I'm not concentrating because I've got all the insults about Plater building in my mind, and I'm trying to push them to one side. Don't lend him any money. I didn't mean that. I did not mean that. Don't leave him alone with your silver. But he's lovely. If you're not following Plater, go look him up. He's a really, really lovely, sweet bloke. And he'll have a go at me for saying that, I'd imagine. Include planetary, yes, why not? Include fleet carriers, no. Landing pad size, large. Minimum supply, flipping loads. And I'd like to buy them, please. I'm going looking for building fabricators, people, in case you weren't aware. Now, oh, hello. Okay, 1 minute. Oh, let me just start up. ED market connector as well. Here we go. Right, just so I make sure I've got that running. So 1 minute ago, EDDB is telling me that that place has got 2 million. That'll do. Right, we're going to 18 Scorpii. And we're going to buy some building fabricators. We're going to kill a friend, Yevgeny. We're going to kill Ramius. Special prize if you can tell me what film that was. And by prize, I mean yay. There's no prize. Let's go there. I didn't look how far that was from the star. Oh, that's nice and close. Okay, here we go. It seems like it's one jump as well. That seems too good to be true. So there might be a lot of messing about if we get there and they haven't got anything. But Plater is also streaming. Oh, he's out here. He's out this way, is he? Yeah, he streams every week actually with the start of the CG. Love his heart. Hunt for Red October. Thank you, Bowl of Petunias. It was indeed the Hunt for Red October. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Atlas. God love you, mate. God bless you. Worth it for the parrot, wasn't it? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. That was very sweet of you. Happy Thanksgiving, mate. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for that. Parrot! We were a bit worried that the alert that we had for that, I missed an alert, right, which filled me with absolute horror. And we were a bit worried that the alert for that wasn't loud enough. So we spent a day, believe it or not, we spent a day putting that video together so that I wouldn't miss it. Yes, Hunt for Red October. Thank you very much, Atlas, mate. That's really sweet of you. Appreciate that, buddy. Hunt for Red October is far and away. Ooh, I always feel guilty for saying this. I think it's my favourite submarine film. I think, and I feel like it. I feel like my favourite submarine film should be Das Boot. Never seen it, or Run Silent, Run Deep, or something like that. Never seen it. I have seen Crimson Tide. That is a good film. That is a really good film, and I feel like that should be my favourite submarine film that I've seen, but it isn't. It's Hunt for Red October. I absolutely love that film. for what it is rather than what it should have been, I suppose. I just love it. I think it's a great film. It's an amazing book, a really amazing book. It's about that thick, and I read it when I was a lot younger. Bob. Thank you, Bob. That is the world's happiest parrot. I've completely lost where I'm supposed to be going now. Have I even jumped? No, I haven't. Okay. Oh God, where am I? I don't even know where I'm going. Thank you very much, Bob. That's really lovely of you. Tar, mate. Am I even where? Am I in the right system? See, you've completely thrown me. Yeah, I always feel like other films that are perhaps slightly more, I don't know, a bit more. Oh, I don't want to say intellectual because that's the wrong word, but I don't know, maybe a little bit deeper. Should be my favourite submarine films, but there's so much about Red October to like that is far and away my favourite submarine film. If for no other reason than they built a sort of replica. It's not quite, but they built a sort of floating replica of a Russian Typhoon class ballistic missile submarine, and put it on some barges and floated it in the middle of a river or a lake in America for certain scenes where obviously the submarine was surfaced. And that's just not the sort of thing they do with a film these days. It was made in sort of the 80s or 90s, I think. And these days it would all be, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it would look much better if they did it these days, but they do it all with CG and it would look amazing and all that. But to just build a massive submarine like that and then put Sean Connery in the conning tower, I just think was brilliant. I love it. I love that film. Awesome film if you've not seen it. And it's got some great yes, Game Warrior, they did. And it's got some great Sean Connery lines in it. Mine helping us out with a burr infestation. Honestly. Slam dunk, yeah, I can't. Harrison Ford, mate, he did make a good. He was certainly a different Jack Ryan, and he certainly wasn't a bad Jack Ryan at all. I did like Alec Baldwin's Jack Ryan though, but I can't see. It's funny, isn't it? I can't see him being the Jack Ryan from Harrison Ford does vulnerable and strong quite well. Whereas at that time, I think you needed a bit more. I don't know, a slightly more assertive, kind of slightly cocky Alec Baldwin. But it works. Oh, Laban Den, shall I say it? Give me a ping, Vasily. One ping only, please. It's got some brilliant lines. Voyage to the bottom of the sea. Oh my word. Da, 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 da. What's the other one I really loved as a kid as well? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with James Mason. Now that is a submarine. The Nautilus from Disney's. It's on Disney Plus as well at the moment. I watched it the other day, and it's an old film. And there's a lot of models and stuff going on, but it's still that submarine is an absolute design classic. Thanks, Game Warrior. Are you combat equipped, my friend? I might be needing that. Decals are in the Buur Pit Discord. Okay. Let's have a look. Elite images. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, they're really cool. Oh, they're very cool. Okay. Good stuff. I'm down with that. Oh, they're all different as well. They're different for the Feds and different for the Empire by the look of it. Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, they're all right. Is that emissive, that white one? That looks kind of emissive. Very cool. Right, focus, Burr. Focus. Is anybody else out this way? Zoffy is out this way. Hello, Zoffy. What was I buying? I can't even remember what I was buying. It was about an hour ago that I looked, wasn't it? Challenged to talk in a Sean Connery accent for 10 minutes. Wow. Wow. Okay, next time you stream Orange Phoenix, you need to do James Mason. James Mason. Branded one. Atlas, you can come in and cover my rear if you want, mate. The so on the subject of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, by the way, the it still looks awesome. Again, it's one of those things where that's such an old film. They had to do a scene with a giant squid attacking the submarine, so they built the submarine and then built a giant squid. You know, literally a great big rubber giant squid. And again, if you were to do that today, it would look a million times better. Look, it would look absolutely incredible. But you know, hats off to those guys for just, well, we need a giant squid. How should we do that? I know, we'll build a giant squid. I remember seeing it as a kid and just thinking, oh my God, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But, you know, obviously these days it looks like a giant rubber squid, but that's got to be one of the movie industry's biggest puppets, surely. A colossal giant squid. And it tries to eat James Mason at one point. I remember the day when a giant squid tried to eat me. If you can do a James Mason impression, by the way, you can also do Pierce Brosnan. Interesting fact. I enjoy riding my horse along the beach and protecting the environment. 20,000 Leagues, yeah, it's a wonderful film. It's a wonderful film. Kevin reckons Baldwin should have played Jack Ryan throughout. Ford was too old. Although in his later years, Baldwin, bless his heart, was too fat. I suppose if he'd been... I do like Alec Baldwin though. I don't mean to diss the man. He's all right. He's all right as Alec Baldwin. I suppose if he'd been sort of employed to play Jack Ryan, he probably would have lost a couple of pounds. I tell you who shouldn't. Yeah, Quiz Engine. You can also if you can do James Mason and Pierce Brosnan, you can also do Eddie Izzard, who's very, very close. Eddie Izzard, sort of, he's a bit more kind of, yes, right. Jam is what I really wanted to talk about. And cats, small cats and jam. Yes. James Mason, was he really from Huddersfield? He wasn't. Was he really? Wow, he done a good job of hiding that, didn't he? Crikey. Wow, that's mad. Yeah, he would have stayed in shape, I suspect. Yeah. What am I doing here? I am buying the thing that we need for the whatever it was. Right, look at that. Look, that looks fairly... It was building fabricators, wasn't it? Whatever it was. Oh, I've got something in the hold already. What have I got in the hold? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What have we got in the hold? And why? Oh, because it's in that screen. Important safety tip, boys and girls. If you're in that menu, you can't be in this menu. Limpets. We can get rid of those. We don't care about those. Destroy. Destroy them utterly. I will try and stop being James Mason. If I can.
Cargo hold
there we go.
At maximum
right.
Capacity.
We're going back, and I can't remember where we're going. Are we going there? Yeah, we are, aren't we? Yeah. Let's book our ticket well in advance, so we don't have to negotiate with menus whilst being pursued by pirates. I know, you imagine that if James Mason turned up on set and went by gum. Wouldn't have quite the same level of gravitas, I don't think. Oh, Donald Sinden. Oh my God, he was. He was. Didn't he have like mad eyebrows? We're getting into ancient TV now. Wasn't he in some? Didn't he play? Didn't he go? Didn't he? Wasn't he on I seem to remember him being on Sunday nights on ITV in a thing with Maureen Lipman. Is that right? We're getting really weird now. We're getting really
Frameshift drive
off-piste.
charging.
Was it really? Was it Baldwin's decision, Wintermute, not to do the follow-up? I wonder if he regrets that. The path not chosen. I wonder if that's... Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Ready to
Why on earth
engage.
wouldn't you follow up Red October, though? I thought that was a massive success.
4, 3, 2,
Never the
1.
Twain. Thank you very
Engage.
much, Bagfather. That's it. Never the Twain. Can I do Peter Cushing? Can I do Peter Cushing? Sort of. Not. I can do kind of. I think there's an argument to be made that I can't do James Mason, to be honest. But I can sort of do. I can kind of do Peter Cushing from Star Wars. I can do because I've seen Star Wars more times than is healthy for an adult. So sort of. Yeah. Hang on. Let me try and summon some Peter Cushing. I want to say something like, "You don't know how hard I found. How hard it was." That's why we have chosen to... No, I can't. No. All I can do is a posh English bloke. So no, I can't. I can do the Emperor, though. Windsor Davis. Windsor Davis. That's right. Weren't they like antique dealers or something like that? I seem to remember it being a really sort of cheesy sitcom. And I've kind of got this horrible feeling in the back of my mind like I knew I had to go to school the next day. And it was a Sunday night kind of thing, wasn't it? Hello, Wumps. Hope you're all right, mate. Yeah, Peter Cushing's Doctor Who and the Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, which might be the greatest loop of shame, which might be the greatest movie title in the history of movie titles. I mean, that is a fantastic movie title. Not only is it just kind of dun 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 dun, but it also tells you exactly what it does on the tin. That's not a film that you look at and go, I wonder what it's about. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's not like, you know, whatever that road signs outside thingy, Missouri or whatever it was. Do you know? You kind of you look at it and go, Doctor Who, right? So Doctor Who's in it, and the Dalek invasion of Earth, 2150 AD, right? So it's Doctor Who, and the Daleks invade the Earth in the year 2150. Gotcha. You know exactly where you are. Hilariously, 2150 looked exactly like 1960s London. But yeah, what was it? I had a mate the other day who was saying we were having that whole discussion about, you know, can 2020 get any worse? I've got a friend who lives up in Cambridge way, funny enough, not related to anything to do with Elite. I was texting him the other day. We've had a sort of an ongoing text conversation. I've only ever met him a couple of times, but we're solid mates over text, if you know what I mean. I was texting him the other day, and he mentioned, you know, how much worse 2020 could get. For example, we haven't been attacked by giant ants, and I was able to send him a GIF of a scene of a giant ant from the film Them, which is a corker of a classic. That's not a GIF I ever thought I'd be able to use, but I don't think he knew that that was a thing either. He's a good few years younger than me, so I don't think he was aware that Them existed. So again, that's probably one of the biggest puppets in cinema history as well. Maybe we should make a list. The General's off. Hello, mate. See you later, Red 5. Big fan of your blowing up Death Stars. Slam dunk, isn't it? Them is an absolute classic. I mean, if you want to see giant ants being fried with flamethrowers, have you got it on DVD? Awesome. Has it held up? Okay. Quiz Engine, you're thinking of It Came from the Desert, is what you're thinking of. Very much influenced by them, but not actually them. But you're not wrong. They're basically exactly the same. But It Came from the Desert was an absolute corker of a game, and I played that as well. What a great game that was. Literally a 1950s B-movie classic, but a video game. Loved it. They did another one. They did a Rocketeer kind of film, didn't they? Called Rocket. Was it Rocket Ranger or something like that? Where it was literally like Nazis and airships and a guy with a jetpack. No, mate, easy done, Quiz Engine. No worries. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Like, someone look it up for me. Really. I'm sure there was, didn't they? I'm sure there was a game called Rocket Ranger that they did. What was that? What was that company called as well? They did nothing but sort of cinema, kind of playable movie kind of games. Brilliant fun. I seem to remember they were awesome games. They wouldn't stand up today, but as far as subject matter's concerned, they were awesome. The Rocketeer was another good film as well. That didn't get anywhere. Let's not talk about the Swarm. Indeed, or the stage hands throwing bags of gravel over Michael Caine, as it's also known. Eight-legged freaks, oh dear, giant spiders, yep. Some of those old movies are amazing, though. Like, really, you know, if you kind of get past the fact that they're very much of their time, there's still some good stuff in there. Have I got the right thing, and have I brought it to the right place? This is the moment of truth. If I have, I should be about to make a large amount of money. I've got into the wrong board, so that's good. Commodity market. Your older brother had it, came from the desert on the Amiga 500. Loved that machine. Rocket Ranger. It wasn't Chemco. I'm sure they were called Bagfather. I'm sure they were called. Oh, that's it. They did a Three Stooges game as well. I'm sure they were called Cinema something or other. Here we go. 5 mil. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's just get a handle on what kind of difference that has made that one to anything at all. There you go. I'm in the top 75 just from doing that. So if you want the decals, guys and girls, and why wouldn't you? Cinemaware, thank you. Cinemaware, that's it. My God, that was going to tear my brain apart. Cinemaware, thank you, you wonderful people. My God, that is a blast from the past. Yeah, what was the name of that company that used to make games, used to make software about cinema? That was a short Friday afternoon meeting, that one, wasn't it? Cinemaware. That was a great game. It came from the desert. Oh my God. I never played the Three Stooges though. That was a weird one. That seemed like a really odd kind of. I'm sure it was a great game, he says. I don't think it was, but I'm sure it was a great game. But that's kind of a, I don't know. That's kind of a tough sell, isn't it? I mean, giant ants, no problem at all. I'm all down with that. Guy with a jetpack going after the Nazis. Yep, you had me at jetpack. But the Three Stooges, that was my grandfather's cinema. So I don't know. I'd struggle with that one, I think. Hey Mo. Okay, we're going back there again. And going to, was it that one? I'm going to say it was that one.
Scan detected. Frameshift drive charging.
Way ahead is clear. Federal Flight Control signing off.
So true to their word, the CGs are coming thick and fast.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Bagfather, I started to watch it, and I wanted to get back to it, but it was very noisy and very flashy lights. I think I might have been in the wrong frame of mind at the time, but yeah, I wanted to watch it though, but I haven't been back to it yet. I tell you what I did watch the other day, was Ready Player One again, which I haven't seen for quite a while. I've only ever seen it once before, and I really enjoyed that again. Swift Orbital, yeah, I'm going to the right place. Okay. And we watched, okay, Quiz, have a good one, mate. The Morlock, is that a, that's the time machine, isn't it? Is that right? They're the Morlocks, aren't they? The underground dwellers who eat human flesh. Yeah, Ready Player One we watched the other day, and those of you who are in our Discord will know me and Ree aren't very good with horror movies. I'm going to hold my hand up for that right now. I'm really weird with horror movies. If it's If it was anything like Alien or anything like that, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Things with like serial killers and all that kind of stuff, it just doesn't interest me at all. But anything supernatural in a horror movie scares the living bejesus out of me. I'm okay these days. I can watch them and I'm fine. I'm not sitting there hiding behind a cushion or anything. But it does make me a little bit uncomfortable. But I'm kind of in the enjoyable uncomfortable camp with horror movies these days. Don't watch them an awful lot. But Ree is still absolutely terrified. But in a slightly more enjoyable way. But she'll watch it like that, but then get me to explain what's going on. But I do like a good ghost story. I do enjoy a really good ghost story, even though they scare the living bejesus out of me. And we watched a BBC Studio Canal joint venture movie that's on iPlayer at the moment, if you have access to that, called Game Warrior's telling me that book 2 of Ready Player One comes out tomorrow. I didn't realise we were that close to it. Um, a film called The Awakening, I think it's called, and it's just a classic, slightly cliched um, gothic set in the 1920s, but kind of gothic horror story about a ghost in a children's boarding school that a woman is sent to debunk in actual fact, but it turns out it's actually a real ghost. Um, yeah, it was really, really good. Really good. Orange Phoenix, The Time Machine is absolutely a classic. Yeah, I thought the remake didn't really do it justice, I've got to be honest. But the original, the 50s one in particular was good. Yeah, 1%. I kind of want to return to the remake because I'm sure it was better than I remember. But I'm sure you're in the same camp because we're kind of the same age, aren't we, mate? I know the original Time Machine, like the design and just I grew up watching that film, so it's any remake is always going to be a tough sell. Do you know what I mean? But it's a wonderful story, really amazing story. I do love H.G. Wells. Oh, so Will Wheaton's reading Ready Player Two, is he? Oh, that might. So I do. I kind of. Oh, I really want to read it though. But who am I trying to kid? As soon as I pick up a book and try and read it, I just fall asleep. It's an affliction. I've spoken about it before on a live stream. It's honestly, it's a nightmare. I love reading, but as soon as I start reading, I fall asleep. It's horrendous, and it's not like a new thing either. I've always struggled with it. Even when I was, I remember trying to read Hunt for Red October, to go back to a conversation we were having about an hour ago, and I remember trying to read that, and I'm going. Fortunately, that had aircraft and submarines buzzing around, so I managed to stay awake. Yeah, the Time Machine in the 60s, that was I just loved that when I was growing up. Absolutely loved it. I've got that on DVD downstairs now. I just love the fact that the whole film sort of starts with his friends um, coming to a pre-arranged meeting at his house, and he turns up all dishevelled and in a right state, and then starts telling them the story of where he's just been and when he's just been. And it, like, as a child as well, it introduced me to all sorts of amazing concepts which we take for granted these days. But the time machine itself never really moves from the area where his house is. It stays exactly the same place, but obviously time moves around it. And I remember that just being a completely wild concept. It was a vehicle that didn't move anywhere in physical space, but it moved temporally, if you see what I mean. I remember that being just amazing when I was a kid. That was the first time I'd ever seen anything other than Doctor Who, which I didn't really see as time travel. That's the first thing I remember as a kid seeing that had time travel in it, and it just absolutely blew my mind. The Martian's an amazing book as well, isn't it? I was talking to a friend at work about that the other day. She'd accidentally seen it because her kids made her watch it. She had no idea it was such a good film. She wouldn't normally have gravitated towards something like that. So that was quite sweet. Her name was Jane, by the way, and I'll see Jane only has a kind of a passing understanding of live streams and YouTube and things like that. So I shall tell her when I see her on Sunday that
Landing
I
gear
spoke
deployed.
about her on a live stream, and then she can go home and tell her kids and blow their mind. So everybody say hello, Jane, and I'll take a screenshot. How about that? Everybody say hello, Jane,
Landing sequence completed. Power down systems.
and I'll take a screenshot and show it to Jane. That would be funny. That's really interesting. Andy, what Andy said there, he used to work with someone who served on a submarine. He said the hunt for Red October was the most accurate as to what it's like to be on one. I wonder, is that maybe to do with all the tilting and the, because that's the first time I seem to remember submarines kind of the deck rolling and tilting, because it never really occurred to. Oh, that's you wonderful people. Hang on, I'm gonna have to grab a screenshot of that. That's amazing. Oh, you're brilliant. You lot are brilliant. Okay, wonderful. Hang on, let me just grab that. Nice. And we'll call that Jane.jpg. Mark, oh, there's some more. Hang on. Hang on. Let me grab that one. Hang on. That'll absolutely blow Jane's mind. There we go. There we are. Saved. Right. Thank you, people. Thank you for that indulgence. That's brilliant. That'll absolutely make her laugh. Jane's lovely. She's got a hell of a sense of humour as well, which is always a bonus. Right. Where are we? I forgot why I'm here. Am I buying or am I selling? I think I'm buying, aren't I? Am I buying here? Yeah, I must be buying. Building fabricators. Let's grab some of these.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Some solid profits to be made here, by the way, people. If you're new to the game, we're in the bubble at the moment. We're quite close to everything. Hello, Jane.jpg. We're close. We're in the bubble. So
Landing gear retracted.
if you're at a point where you can get yourself a half decent freighter, there's some money to be made here. And then if you carry on playing it, it'll be over fairly quickly. I'd have thought, if I had to guess. I'm buying the thing. Thank you, Phil. I don't imagine this community goal will last terribly long. It's supposed to last until Thursday if you're new to this sort of thing, till next Thursday, or until the community goals goals are reached. If you see what I mean. Hello, Game Warrior. But once it's over, it's over. But there'll also be you'll get money from the completion of the goal as well. I'm going to Perutis now, aren't I? Don't be like me and forget where you're going, what you're doing, or why. Quick public service information film, by the way. Regulars to the stream will know that I've been sort of playing Sniper Elite 4. Sniper Elite 3 went on sale today. My Steam wish list told me Steam are having another sale, and most of my wish list is on sale, which is just an absolute horror story. So I'm sort of looking at it going, oh, can I justify the money? And I don't know. So Sniper, I'm going to get Sniper Elite 3. No, but unless one of you tells me that Sniper Elite 3 is awful, in which case I won't bother. But I can't believe it is, because all the others have been fantastic. So I'm probably going to pick up Sniper Elite because it's like £4.50 or something ridiculous like that. So I'll probably grab that. I was almost tempted. Actually, you guys will be able to help me out with that. I was almost tempted to pick up the recent EA X-Wing game. I'm not interested in the PvP side of it, but if one of you can convince me that the no, Wampus, I didn't, mate. It's just not worked for me at all. I don't know what's happened there, but if one of you can convince me that the co-op side, again, the single player doesn't really bother me either, but if the co-op side of the EA X-Wing is Squadrons, isn't it? Star Wars Squadrons. If someone can convince me that the the cooperative side of that is worth a look, then I will perhaps not succumb immediately, but I will continue the discussion with myself. Okay, Yag, so 3 is awesome, 4's got a better campaign, but 3 is better. Okay, good. Oh, Loop of Shame yet again. Heavens to Betsy. Sorry, Yags, I know this makes your blood boil when I do this, doesn't it? You're remarkably tolerant for a Norwish person, and they are, of course, notoriously intolerant as a race. Don't mean that at all. I'm just yanking your chain. I'm really sorry. You know me, Yags. I can't help it. Yeah, so I think I'll probably almost definitely pick up Sniper Elite. I can't see why I wouldn't for £4.50. Star Wars Squadrons is an ongoing conversation with myself, and Rini and I have played and enjoyed Torchlight and the Torchlight games, and Torchlight 3 is on sale at the moment, but I won't buy it if she's not going to play it. But I would be very interested in playing that if she was going to play, because I do like Torchlight. Yeah, there seems to have been some general problems with the Twitch drops, doesn't it? I guess that's. I mean, you know, they did say out of the gate that it was very much a test. So kind of successful. Certainly successful from a getting people to watch their streams perspective. They had 10,500 people watching Super Cruise News. Oh no, wrong time to take a drink. At 10,500 people watching Super Cruise News yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Where are we? Thursday, Tuesday afternoon. Which is extraordinary for an Elite Dangerous stream these days, let alone one on a Tuesday afternoon. They normally, if you don't watch the Frontier streams these days, they normally clock in at around, unless they're making a massive announcement, they normally clock in at around the sort of 200, 250 people. And I don't doubt for one moment that number will absolutely change when they start talking about Odyssey. But as far as an effort to sort of get people to come into their live stream, I would say that was a complete success. Just need to get the drop thing working properly, really.
Scan detected.
Okay, no one is selling me on Star Wars Squadrons, which tells me, I suspect everything I need to know.
Scan detected.
Spookstar. There is a Buur private group, which you are welcome to join. It's PvE only, but you are welcome to join. There is the Burian Protectorate, which is our in-game faction, which is based in the Tawanta system, which is Tewanta. And there is also a squadron called the Buur Pit, which again you are welcome to join. I'm told if you search B Pit in the squadron system, which is over there. Yeah, I'm told if you search squadrons in there, you will find the Buur Pit squadron. And I say I'm told. It's not that it's a surprise to me at all. It's just that I don't have to search for it very often, or indeed ever. What am I doing here? Am I selling here? I think I'm selling here, aren't I? Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the way the game works at the very moment, at least anyway, if you're on a console, I can't help you, which guts me like a fish every time I have to say it. But our PG and our Squadron do not extend to the consoles, unfortunately. They're a PC only thing. Not because that's the way we want it, I can assure you, but that's the way it is until Frontier implement crossplay. As far as the Burian Protectorate in-game faction is concerned, however, that is completely cross-faction. That completely cross-platform.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship released. Clear for departure.
What film is it you watched on a colour TV, Andy? Are you a bit behind us? And if you are, you won't be able to answer that. Hello, Exorcist. How you doing, mate? It was, do you know what, Exorcist? It was fair enough when the game first came out, like 7, 8 years ago, whenever it was, 6, 7 years ago. Everybody had their own walled garden, and that's just the way things were. There's never ever been a technical reason for that, I believe. It's literally a walled garden thing, mostly coming from the consoles, I think, to be brutally honest. But these days, I don't know that that's a thing, or it needs to be a thing anymore. And I would think the world would be a much sunnier place for everybody if we all played in the same galaxy. Sorry, Game Warrior. There you go, mate. Out of your way. So yeah, it would be nice if we could all at least be in the same private group if we chose to. That would be nice. Maybe one day, huh? They're not talking about it at the moment. I can't believe they haven't looked at it, but how practical it is for them to do, I honestly have no idea. Where am I going? I want to turn some stars on just there, actually, just to... Bear with me a second, people. Star class, thank you. There we go. Why was that not popping in? That was weird. There we go. That's where we're going anyway. Yeah, so it'd be nice if crossplay became a thing. Absolutely no idea if it's going to or not. Frontier haven't even really made a hint about that. So it may be a thing one day. It may not. My phone just went nuts for some reason. There we go.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Yeah, English gent. I'd love it if we could all. Oh, I think I'd love it if we could all play in open. Funny enough, as a family, we were kind of having this discussion the other night. I started when the game first launched. I played exclusively in open, and I doggedly wanted to make sure I played in open, and nothing but. But I had such an appalling experience, like shockingly bad experience, that for a while, and this was a long time ago, but for a while it actually made me stop playing the game. There was and you got to bear in mind that Elite has been an obsession of mine since 1984. You know, so for me to stop playing the game, it was a pretty appalling experience. But I actually ducked out for a while and thought, yeah, I'm not going back to that. And then I went back and played in solo for a bit, but it wasn't as satisfying at all. Then I discovered Mobius, which was great for a while, and then the Buur Pit happened. So I haven't really looked back since then. Blood Clot, I won't, mate. I'd love to be able to, but truth be told, I just don't have that kind of time in my week these days. For the sort of the kind of attention that game, which looks extraordinary, really deserves. My son, however, is frankly wetting his pants with excitement, which is pretty embarrassing for an 18-year-old. But he's going to play it, and I will hear all about it from him, I'd imagine. I know Jagger was quite interested. was quite interested in Cyberpunk. But it does look amazing. It looks absolutely extraordinary, to be honest. It kind of reminded me a bit of Deus Ex, would that be? And I get that it's a way more complicated, you know, city and environment and all that kind of thing. But Brandy, you'll play enough for the both of us. Excellent. I look forward to your reports. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a huge time sink, yeah, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what video games are for. Nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I say, unfortunately, ooh, what a terrible position to be in. The Buur Pit keeps me very engaged with Elite and very busy. Save it for a holiday or retirement. That's a good idea. That is a good. Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm actually going to do that. That's a really good idea. I'll stick it on my wish list. I like the idea that it's. I get very frustrated with games where there isn't an open world for me to wander about. Most games I get frustrated with where there isn't an open world for me to wander about in. I'm not very. I suppose that's wrong actually. I get frustrated with games that are very very linear and do you remember a while ago? I think it was basically I remember it being the Call of Duty games in particular that really did it when they first came to fruition, you know, 15, 20 years ago or whatever it was. And shooters went from these really big maps that you could get lost in to a corridor, and that became and everybody went, oh wow, it's such an amazing immersive experience, blah 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 blah, and the story's incredible. No, it isn't. It's a corridor. It's a corridor, and you're being led by the nose. I got very frustrated with that sort of thing. I don't like those games, so I prefer an open world or a really really big world. So it's why I sort of like I really gravitate towards the sniper games, for example, because you're just on a huge map. And to a degree, you're still in a corridor kind of, but the corridor is very wide and it's quite difficult to touch the walls, if that makes sense. Suffice to say, I think Elite probably is one of the games that has damaged me in that regard, right from the first one, the Wireframe one in 1984. As soon as I played that, that would just completely changed my life utterly. So yeah, when shooters went sort of very corridory, I started to get very frustrated with them. So I do appreciate the fact that Cyberpunk has got a city. Like I don't particularly like the Grand Theft Auto games, but as a technical achievement, or as a sort of piece of gameplay design, I think they're wonderful. I've got a couple of Grand Theft Auto games, and all I've ever done with them is just wander around and just get in and out of cars and drive through cities and things. That to me is interesting. Can't remember why I'm here. Inventory's empty. I'm guessing I'm buying things. Yeah, Phil, isn't it interesting? Half-Life. I remember I was a big first-person shooter player, massive first-person shooter player, when Half-Life came out. And I remember everybody telling me how absolutely extraordinary it was and how amazing it was. And
Scan detected.
I'm the guy that doesn't like Half-Life. I think it's awful. Sorry. Hey, each to his own. Horses for courses. That's absolutely fine. Loads of people like Baldur's Gate. I can't stand Baldur's Gate either. I absolutely love Elite, and people who like Baldur's Gate probably can't stand Elite, and that's absolutely fine. Each to his own. Nothing wrong with that. But and Half-Life 2, the way Half-Life 2 is revered as this extraordinary piece of video game history, I thought it was rubbish. It was absolutely rubbish. I played it and I was bored senseless. It's funny, isn't it? Brandy one's got a it's all right. That's okay, Atlas. I get that a lot, buddy. It's fine. It's fine. Exorcist calling me a hero. Oh, I'm sorry. Mal for the win. Hello, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mal for the win achieved his partner, isn't it, Mal, on Twitch this week? Well done, buddy. I know you've put in like ridiculous hours doing that, building that extraordinary community around you. Well done, fella. We saw that. We saw your announcement on that at about 3 in the morning. We got out for work, and I was sitting there staring at my phone, bleary-eyed, and saw that you'd got a partner, mate. And I'm gonna say we gave a little cheer, but you know it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so we kind of went yay. But yeah, well done, mate. Mouth for the wins here, everybody. Wintermute likes Elite and Baldur's Gate. Plus Half-Life. Half-Life 2 was an awful game. Yeah, I just didn't get it at all. But was it? There was the Baldur's Gate, the hardcore Baldur's Gate games. Again, the real solid RPGs. I know this is going to be heretical, and I know I'm wrong. I get that I'm wrong, but I don't particularly like those either. But I played oh god, what was it? Is it Baldur's Gate Alliance or something like that? I want to call it on PlayStation 2, possibly. And that was like a sort of slightly more in-depth action RPG. It was definitely an action RPG, but it was slightly less clicky than Diablo, and that was I want to say it was Dark Alliance. That sounds that rings a bell. Dark Alliance and Dark Alliance 2, and they were fantastic. I really love those, but I get that isn't pure Baldur's Gate, but
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
that's my experience with Baldur's Gate. I remember the original Baldur's Gate being the brown game. It always seemed everything about it was brown. Possibly a restriction of the graphics capabilities of the time, which is fine. Elite used to be the black and white and red game.
Landing gear retracted.
Pads attached complete. Depart when ready, Commander.
Yagashir, go forth, dust the git. Really? Branded one. I've been given leave to hunt you for your heresy. How doth thou plead? Guilty, sir, guilty. Guilty as charged. However, I am in a PvE private group, and if you attack me, I will ban you. Thank you. There will be plenty of opportunity,
Scan detected.
as you know, Atlas, to attack and kill me. It is a thing that comes up in the Buur Pit quite often. Those of you who were around for the time that I made a video but forgot to put patrons at the end of it will remember that we had to have a firing squad for that, which we should do that again. I nearly did a firing squad the other day, actually. Let me tell you for why. I didn't have time to put it together, unfortunately, so I had to kind of move on really quickly. But the account that I created for for the pit trip. So Commander the Pit Trip 2. I needed to wipe that account and start again and build him up from nothing again, put him back to Banjo McGuigan, which is what he normally is. And I really wanted to have a firing squad to kill him and take him out of the game, but I needed to do it immediately, and I didn't have time to pull it together, unfortunately. So. But we'll have a firing squad again at some point. I'm almost certain to mess up big style in some regard, which will warrant everybody killing me. So they're going to take on, like the firing squads are going to take on a slightly darker edge, I suspect, with Odyssey, aren't they? I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to kill a spaceship, but when you're actually shooting at the quivering wreck in front of you, I think that's. I don't know. We might have to. But you probably don't want a firing squad anymore, do you? So, hello, Thomason. You all right, mate? Hello, Science Keeper. How are you, buddy? Yeah, I'm in my own private group, my own PvE private group, where everybody except me is perfectly safe. How is that right? Honestly, Oh God, Brandon's bringing everything. That could work actually once. Oh, I knew I'd find you eventually. All that tasty cargo. It appears, Atlas, that someone is trying to get to me. Planet!
Hull integrity
I
compromised.
bet. Yeah. Oh. Ouch. Now then. This is going to get interesting. Yes, once. A pack-hound firing squad. Could be a very interesting thing. I was in a combat zone with Universally yesterday, and he brought a Type 10. I don't know why I'd never thought of that before, but he brought a Type 10 with, I think, just 2 pack-hound racks on it. And my God, the difference it made. Not that we struggle in combat zones, but I don't know, it felt like we were getting through them really quickly once their shields went down. They just got universalied. And then it was very quickly game over for them. So I'm kind of a mind, if I can find some time in my week. But if I can find some time in my week, I'm kind of a mind to build a Type 10 with pack hounds on it. My head tracking's off, and I'm trying to turn my head. I couldn't work out why it wasn't working. I was sitting there going, This is why you tune in, isn't it? Honestly, this is the good stuff. I have lined up a doing the thing, by the way, for this week. I have lined up an actual doing the thing. I remembered. So we have a doing the thing to do. Those of you who are new to the stream, I need to do I'd said this before. I need to do a doing the thing logo intro thing, but doing the thing is I've got an extensive collection of nerdy stuff over there. And every week I get something from my collection of nerdy stuff and stick it on camera for a couple of minutes and we have a quick chat about it. Nothing awfully exciting, but I kind of like it because I'm a big nerd. And I like being a big nerd. Oh, the other thing as well that I got to mention as well, for anybody who wasn't here last week, let me just tell you, at some point towards Christmas, very, very close towards Christmas, we will be having a live stream and we will be giving away this, which is a Sidewinder model. And you won't have to jump through any major hoops. It won't be anything difficult or anything like that. To be honest, it'll just be a live draw of some description, but we will be doing it on a live stream. All right, Atlas, got ya. Give me 2 seconds, mate. Yeah, we will be doing that close to Christmas, because Christmas. It would make a really nice Christmas decoration, actually.
Lakon, Bravo, Papa, Sierra. The Federation welcomes you. Follow station protocols and enjoy your visit, Commander. Request approved. Assigned to landing pad 3-9er. Automated docking assist is now in progress.
Yes, Science Keeper, it's 3D printed. A guy at work has got a 3D printer and did that for us. And put an undercoat on it and then sprayed it silver. Oh, that was God. Well reminded. Oh my God, Bagfather. Well reminded. Right. Oh, I can't read. Okay, so one of the things I've threatened to do numerous times. That looks like it's going to hit the toast rack. Oh, that's uncomfortably close. Okay. I won't. Rather than just tell you about it, I'll show you. Hang on. So, it isn't working yet. So don't get excited. But 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Landing gear deployed.
That is now a thing. Hopefully you can see that. So the reason it's orange is because the feed is currently down. There aren't any cats in here to to go on camera at all at the moment anyway. The only thing that's currently stopping it now is getting a suitable mount near one of the cat beds that I can point at. So that is a thing, and it does work, and I can switch it on and off like 1, 2, 3, that. So yes, that's going to happen at some point, really, really soon. I'd really like to get that done before Christmas if I possibly can. But the only thing that's stopping that at the moment is a suitable camera mount. I've got one, and I tried it a couple of nights ago, and it didn't. It kept. Long story short, but it kept falling on the cat, which was less than ideal from a camera perspective, and also greatly irritated the cat. I can't remember what part of the journey I'm at. I'm selling. Okay. So, Phoenix, yes, I did. I did see your aspects. Yes. Wow, mate. What's it? I'm going to ask you a really stupid question now. Is that wood you're making that out of? I didn't. I did see it, but as you can see, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. But it kind of passed across my phone, and I went, "Oh, wow, that looks. Yeah, that looks. Have you done any wood? Have you done any carving before? I'm guessing it's wood." Ba, 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 ba. Did I do the thing? Yes, I did. Right, how are we doing now? Let's have a quick look at our standing. So if oh, I didn't want to come out. Oh, I didn't want to go in that either. So if you are new to the game, people, and you obviously won't have done one of these community goals before. They come up on a very regular basis these days. Anyway, there was a long drought where we didn't have any, and we won't talk about that because everybody got very upset. So, but they are up very regularly now, and they are a great way to make money. Look at that, you see, I've only done, what, 2 or 3 runs, and I'm in the top 25. I know I'm using a T9, but, you know. So if you're in the top 75%, which I managed to do with one truckload, and just kind of, if you can just kind of keep that going for the length of the way the CG runs, you'll get a decal to go on your ship. It's not much, but it, you know, it's a thing. It's nice. It's a nice thing. I love it that there are proper rewards for CGs now. Frontier are to be applauded for that. That's good. It's a good thing. It's nice. You know, one day a CG will come up for a thing that you really care about, and then you'll have a sticker from the thing that you did. I like stuff like that. It's cute. It's nice. Let's go back there and buy more thing.
Ship restraints retracted. You are clear for egress.
Okay, so it's beach, is it? Okay, that's amazing. What are we're bumping on? We're hitting something there, aren't we? It's not me doing this, by the way. Is there another? There's a ship. Okay, there's a ship there. Hello. I'll tell you what. I'll just move back, shall I? There we go. All right, off we go. It's like getting stuck against a sports car. Oh, is he? Oh, he's blocking the way, isn't he? Let's just go around him then. Coming through. Down ladder. Make a hole. Just squeeze a Type 10 through that tiny little Type 10 sized gap that wasn't there.
Frameshift drive charging.
So that the video that we put out yesterday, by the way, possibly interesting little Buur Pit fact, is one of the few videos that we've done where we had to go back and do some pickups, if you know what I mean. So some stuff that we'd filmed didn't really work quite right in the context of what we were trying to do. And it was also a funny video to make as well, because Ree was doing the visuals for it, and I was doing the script for it, as is always the way these days. And I didn't know really what because she ended up with sort of hours and hours of footage, 3.5 minutes of which you end up seeing, and I didn't know what she was going to use, and she didn't really know what I was going to say, so we kind of had a chicken and egg situation going on. Which is fine. That it often works out like that, so it's absolutely fine. But we didn't really know sort of whether the visuals were going to match what was being said and vice versa. So in the case of I'm going to get the name wrong, but the last place that we featured in that video was it Apam Napat the two ringed binary worlds. We needed to do a pickup shot for that, so we ended up yesterday we ended up filming last minute down on the planet's surface, and that little shot with the where you see an SRV going around our two parked ships. We kind of wanted something that was down on the planet's surface to show you, the sort of thing that you can expect to see when you're there. So we ended up filming. It's really weird, that little shot is it's about 20 seconds long, 10, 15 seconds long, something like that, if that. And we filmed. Phoenix will tell you this is how it goes. We ended up filming about half an hour of stuff, and then it took us half an hour to kind of get there and get set up, and you know what I mean. So we ended up doing tons and tons of stuff, and then we used 15 seconds of it. But it really needed to be in the video. So it's not often that we have to do pickups, but it was quite a specific subject. And then the other thing that I just thought was interesting was SCARD, the SCARD system, which is the one where you've got a tiny planet really close to the central star. Ree put the video together and sort of said we had our first kind of watch through of what she had. And both of us were sort of sitting there going, the SCARD section just it wasn't working somehow. And we kind of sat there and sort of and ahed and went back and forth about why the SCARD video wasn't working right. And it turns out that in almost every single shot, we didn't have to do pickups for this, we already had the footage, but in every single shot that she'd chosen, she decided to try and show the edge of the star. So you ended up with, for example, planet surface, star, like that, the edge of the star there, and then a little slither of space. And she was, was trying to show the scale of the thing that's in front of you. And you'd think, in doing that, if you've got the edge and then you've got a bit of space and a bit of planet, that would do it. But it in actual fact, it did the opposite, and you couldn't quite get the of what it's like being on the surface of SCARD 1. So we ended up changing. So in pretty much every single shot, if I remember correctly, that's now in the video, she basically ripped everything out, and every single shot that's in there now, pretty much, I think, has got no space in it. It's all star. The only ones I think that have got space in it is when she was approaching the planet, and you get this great shot that's basically mostly star and this little tiny planet that you're going up to. But certainly all the surface shots, the star covers the entire field of view, and then when you do that, you're kind of like, oh, okay, I get the scale. So you almost need to take everything else out of the shot so that you've got nothing but star, and then you kind of get it at that point. It was I thought that was quite interesting, but I would do, because we get quite nerdy about this stuff. I wish I could make a video about, I know Bagfather has asked us this before, and I don't think there's a practical way of doing it, but I wish I could make a video about the process that we often go through, sitting here, and how we end up. We'll put a video together and then go and take it apart again and put it back together a different way, to try to make it work. There's stuff that I never really realised that we'd do. And it's a sort of thing that we've kind of had to learn, I suppose. What was the other one? There was one. We were both making a video at one point. This was quite recently, actually. Do you remember we did a video about two moons colliding? Well, at the same time that Ree was making that video over there, at this PC here, I was putting together the video for our 10,000 subscriber celebration. And I was using a certain piece of music, and Ree was using a certain bit of music, and as is often the way when she's working on something or I'm working on something, the other will come and watch and listen to what you've done, and offer a little bit of feedback and say, well, how about this and how about that, and and it helps it kind of move along nicely. So she was sitting here watching my video that I'd made with a certain bit of music in there, and I was sitting there watching her video that she'd made with the two moons colliding, with a certain bit of music in it, and I said to her, "Oh, we'd basically finished, right? Both videos were basically done." And I said to her, "Oh, do you know what? I really like it, and I hate myself for saying this, but I think the music you're using, you'd be better off using the one that I'm using." And she said, "The music you're using, I think you'd be better off with the one." And so we ended up having to get the music and do that. And then which worked great for the two videos, but once you've done that, none of the footage matched up. None of the footage worked. So, you were hitting different beats in different places and all that. So we ended up having to, so we basically made these two videos, then we changed the music over, and then we basically had to redo all the video, re-edit all the video again, which takes hours. But hopefully the results speak for themselves. But it's kind of, I think I've still got the old version of it as well that used, of my video certainly. I've still got, I think, the version that uses the music that she ended up using on the colliding moons. Hey, Six Shooter, how are you, mate? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Nexio, you alright, mate? Oh no, Alec Turner! We need like a little pop-up we can do for when Alec Turner turns up. Are you alright, Alec? How are you? I enjoyed your interview with Mal for the Win and Psykit. Really good, mate. Really good. I haven't got round to Beetlejuice yet, which that's on my list. But I loved your interview, man. It was really interesting. And honestly, I expected to be really bored, so that was a bonus. I'm just kidding. You know I'm kidding. I can't help myself, Alec. You know that. It's an affliction. I'm buying here, aren't I? Building fabricators. The price, I note, is creeping up. I think. But that's okay. I think we're still good. I think we're still okay. Is that where I'm going? No, it isn't. I really needed to have bookmarked this place. That's where I'm going.
Landing gear retracted.
That's where I am. That's where I'm going. Book my tickets in advance. There we go. Right. Yeah, I'm all right, Alec. I'm all right, mate. I'm okay, thank you. All things being equal. Oh, okay. I'll look forward to that. Beetlejuice's best. What advice would you give yourself ever? Okay. I look forward to that. And I'm done waiting.
Roger that, Commander. You are go for VTO.
Cast your minds back, people. Do you remember a long time ago in this galaxy not very far away, there never used to be all the radio chatter around starports? It was, imagine that if you can for a moment. It was absolutely silent. All the voice chatter and the fact that the station talks to you specifically when you arrive and stuff like that, that has all been added. It never used to do that. I can't imagine that now. It would feel so dead now, don't you think? I forgot that never used to be a thing. Extraordinary. This is a nice, easy CG to participate in, guys and girls. If you want to grab yourself a freighter, if you don't want to do the combat half, which I can completely understand, particularly if you're new. But if you want to do the freight half of either of the two CGs, you can make yourself some coin. You will get people like this, however. Big haul like that. Surprised you made it this far. think that was him that just went past us. I wonder if I can get away this time and not crash into a planet. That would be a distinct bonus. I would consider that no small favour. Shall I do a deliberate loop of shame here? I don't know. Is there any anecdotal evidence to confirm that that actually works? Let's try it. I suspect not much is going to work in a T9, but the joy of head tracking. Look at that. I do love my head tracking. Again, if you're new to the game, I think, with the exception of the HOTAS that I'm using, the hands-on throttle and stick. Oh, here we go. With the exception of the hands-on throttle and stick that I'm using, I think the head tracking is the single biggest enhancement that I would recommend if you're not obviously playing the game in VR. VR's not really for me for all sorts of reasons, which is why I use head tracking instead. I don't think we're going to get away with this, which is why I'm not using VR. But head tracking is absolutely. If you can't use VR, then head tracking is just glorious. Oh, we were so close then. Oh God! Come on! Come on! Come on! That's it, surely. There we go. And now I've got to get in the station before he gets back into Super Cruise. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! But particularly in combat, if you're in combat, head tracking and or VR, not and or, but or VR, is just glorious. Absolutely glorious, because you can literally go, there's my target, and just grab it and then turn to war. It's just, it's one of those things that I want Ree to try, because Ree really struggles with spatial orientation in the game. And getting down to planet surfaces in particular is something she really wrestles with, and trying to get down to a spaceport or drop in on a wing signal or something like that. She really wrestles with that, and I really think head tracking would work. So that's one of those things that's kind of on our wish list, is to just sit her down at this PC just so she can try it. Really, she's not. I know that sounds ridiculous because she only sits there, but it's just finding the time to actually do it. But I think head tracking for her would really would help with the whole planetary landing thing. Those of you who have spent any time in Discord with Ree will know how much she struggles with planetary landing. So I need to get her sat at my keyboard at some point. There is a person behind me. Hello. You right? Ah! What was that for? Yaga says a lot of things. It doesn't mean you want to listen to him. What was that for? Did he tell you what? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Brief marital. What? What did I do? Oh, okay. B's mic volume got low though. Is it back now? Is that? You're not gonna. Oh, and I didn't call Atlas in. It's a bit late anyway now. Atlas, I completely forgot, mate. I'm really sorry. Because I'm a hatch stand. I've just well, you know, I forgot to bring Atlas into a wing after saying I was going to bring him into a wing. So if you want to land another one on me, then that would be. I said right at the beginning of the stream, but this shoulder really hurts. Yeah. Yeah. That might possibly be the reason. Oh dear. Thanks, Yaga. Appreciate that. I'm really sorry I forgot Atlas. I feel really bad about that, mate. Apologies. Got the mind of a fish when I put my mind to it, mate. Yaga, all better for various. Thanks. Yeah. Doing the thing. We're going to do the thing in a minute. Where are we? Yeah, it's 20 to 5. We can do the thing. What half of the... See, I can't remember what half of the... am I buying or selling here? I can't remember for the life of me what I'm doing. Oh, I'm selling here, aren't I? Perfect timing then. Yeah, okay. Let's sell up here and then we'll do the thing. Okay. That one. Selling. Who just got interdicted? Game Warrior has been interdicted. Okay, so let's do the thing. I'm going to switch to the face cam, people. I want you to try and be strong, okay? For those of you who are new, this will be a shock. There we go, face cam. Okay, what's missing from that half of the screen? I can't remember. I might need to look at that. The game is missing. Where's the game gone? Why is the game not showing? Because you disabled it, you idiot. Right, there we go. Okay, so this is doing the thing. So here's this week's doing the thing. So there are actually, it's a bit of a bonus one this week. There are actually 3 things for do the thing this week. Those of you who know me well will know I'm a bit of a Star Wars nerd. I know it's a failing. Let's just try and move past it. One of the things I really like about Star Wars is the first 3 films and Rogue One. I'm kind of getting into the Mandalorian, but I have struggled with it a little bit. But the last sort of 2 or 3 episodes, it's starting to go somewhere now, so it is actually getting a little bit more interesting. But what I really like about I didn't like the prequels. I'm really sorry. I was too old at that point, I think. I didn't really like the prequels. And the newer films that they've just done, other than Rogue One, were fairly universally awful. However, what I have always liked about Star Wars is just the stuff. The stuff in the Star Wars universe, I just think is great. All the armor and the guns and the spaceships and all. It's very much. I love Star Wars stuff. Always have done. So quite a lot of my collection outside is Star Wars stuff, just stuff, because I think it's cool, not because I like the film it was in, for example. So the other thing about Star Wars stuff is there are varying qualities of stuff, right? Some of it is, I'm talking about the figures in particular, the little action figures. In particular, some of them are unnecessarily expensive, in my humble opinion, and some of them are dirt cheap but end up looking a bit rubbish as a result of it. Okay, so some of them, if you want good stuff to put on your nerd shelf, sometimes you have to pay a decent amount of coin to get the good version, and other times you can actually get the cheap version, and it works out looks just fine. So as a prime example, I'm going to show, right, so this is a cheap version of a Stormtrooper, okay, an original Stormtrooper. So this one was sort of £2 or £3. He's going transparent because of the green screen. Sorry about that. I don't think there's anything I can do. But this is, if I get him really close to the cat, he looks like a ghost of a Stormtrooper, really weirdly. That's what you can't see from this is that he's okay, but he's not terribly articulated, and he just isn't quite right. He's okay though. It's okay. He's not absolutely awful, but he stands sort of dead straight like that, and you can't really do anything terribly interesting with him on a shelf. But he's okay. But he was cheap. He was about £2. Okay, there's a thrifty store down the road from us that occasionally sells Star Wars figures. Now, this guy, I'm appalled to say, is significantly more articulated. Is he going to come out any better? No, he isn't. This is a. I tell you what, if I turn the filter off, maybe that'll do it. You might end up with a lot of green behind me, but at least you'll be able to see. Hang on a minute. Let me just do some adjustments here, people, because he's currently transparent, and that's annoying me. Hang on a minute. Filters. Chroma key. Let's just do. Okay, that's slightly better. Not great, but slightly better. So this guy is significantly more articulated. His legs are jointed. His ankles are even jointed. As you can see, his waist is jointed. as is his head. He's got the little gun in that as pins to his leg there. That comes off. You can put this gun in that slot and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So he's got a lot more going on. He was unnecessarily expensive. I can't remember how much he was, but I remember being appalled at how much I had to pay for him. He's a new order or whatever they're called. The first order, yeah, those guys. He's a first order stormtrooper. But he was expensive, but I couldn't find a cheap version that. Well, A, I couldn't find a cheap version, and B, I couldn't find one that looked good. This guy is a cheap version of a flame trooper from the First Order. Oh, I cannot get the camera to focus on it. He's a cheap version, and he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's already in a really cool pose. And you wouldn't know that wasn't an expensive one. But this guy actually came in a multi-pack of like 3 other characters who were all kind of, are okay. They're middling to good. But this guy is absolutely brilliant. So I guess what I'm saying is if you were of a mind to get a nerd shelf of your own or wanted to add to your existing nerd shelf, take a look at the cheap ones, the cheap stuff, because some of them are rubbish and some of them are amazing. And oftentimes with the rubbish ones, as I think we've touched on before, you can do a little bit of really rough paintwork to bring them up to scratch so that they look great. But this guy was dirt cheap. He was literally a couple of quid. And he's really, really cool. This guy was horrendously expensive, and I couldn't find one that wasn't expensive, but he's still really, really cool. And this guy who stands at the back of the shelf is barely passable. But he kind of looks okay as long as you don't look at him too much. So there we go. That is this week's Doing the Thing. Green screen issue. Burr has a hole in his head. That's his mouth. Yeah, they look a bit hologrammy, don't they? Not quite. I do look like I've got a hole in my head. How weird is that? Look at that. Oh, that's unpleasant. Let's just find that. Oh, look at that. That's really sore. Yeah, so there we go. As I mentioned, at some time before Christmas, you can win that, which hopefully you can see okay. Here's a 3D printed Sidewinder. It'll be really easy. You won't have to jump through any hoops or anything like that. It's literally going to be a draw. It'll be on this here channel. So watch out for that, and we'll try and give you plenty of warning. If you're new to the game, do please participate in the CGs if you can. You're more than welcome to come into our private group. If you are going to go in open, it can be a bit of a rough neighbourhood, I want to say, but some people kind of like that, and it is elite dangerous after all, and not elite mildly unpleasant. But you are more than welcome to come into our private group. There's always plenty of people in there. I'm sure there will be people out at the CG for the next half a week or so. Keep an eye on the CGs because they're liable to end. It's my gut feeling that they're liable to end quite quickly, but we'll see how it goes anyway. But it's a good way to make some coin and a good way to see a little bit, certainly a little bit of what one aspect of the game is about. If you are new to the game, it is bleeding lovely to see you here. We are not quite there yet, but we're entering a very exciting time in Elite's history, I think, and you are in at about the right time. And it's a wonderful community, as I hope you're finding out. So you're very, very welcome here. There is no such thing as a Twitch drop on YouTube, Wumps, unfortunately. So we won't be doing that. And we left Twitch about 3 or 4 weeks ago because uncomfortable with it, which is fine. That's fine. That's not why we're here. I don't know if there's anything else I've got to tell you. I don't think so. If you're not familiar with our work already, hopefully my lovely wife has put some links down below. We have a Discord and a wonderful community, and we do all sorts of crazy, wonderful stuff. And you'll find links to everything below. Our main channel is The Buur Pit on YouTube, where we do all sorts of stuff, particularly Witch Space News, which will be all day tomorrow and will come out about 3 or 4 in the afternoon if we can. It's a bit of a bumper show tomorrow. We've got loads to talk about. So Exorcist, we are absolutely the bestest community. We are absolutely blessed. elite community is absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. So that's it for live streams, I think, until next Thursday at the very least. I don't think I'm going to have room in my schedule for another one this week, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. It's always lovely to see you here. Thank you so much for the donations, guys. Really appreciate that. You're quite lovely. Very much appreciated. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Look after each other and all that good stuff. And the times that we're living through at the moment will come to an end. And I don't mean in a catastrophic way. I mean in a positive way. Everything will be okay. I promise you. You have my personal guarantee. I can't give you a guarantee, but I will anyway. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Come out to the CG. I look forward to seeing you here. Have a good week. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.